Some of the foods doing the most damage to your heart aren't the ones you'd ever suspect. They're not bacon. They're not butter. They're sitting in your kitchen right now, labeled heart healthy, low fat, all natural. And after the age of 50, they quietly do more harm than almost anything else on your plate. I've spent more than 30 years sitting across from people who did everything they thought was right and still watched their numbers climb. So in the next 18 minutes, I'm going to name all 7, including the one that surprises my patients more than any other. The one most people eat every single morning, convinced it's good for them. But before the list, you need to understand why 50 is the turning point, because that's the part nobody explains. Here's what changes after 50. Your arteries are a little less flexible than they were at 30. Your kidneys handle salt a little less efficiently. Your body recovers from a bad week of eating a little more slowly. None of that is your fault, it's biology. But it means the foods you got away with for decades start leaving a mark. And I know how that feels. If you've been told your pressure is a little high, or your cholesterol is borderline, and then sent home with no real explanation, that frustration is real. You're not imagining it. So I want to do something different today. I'm going to show you the 7 foods from least to most damaging. And I'll be honest, number 1 isn't a guilty pleasure. It's something you probably bought because you were trying to be healthy. Keep that in the back of your mind as we count down. Quick note before we start, and I mean this, nothing here replaces your own doctor. This is general information to make you a sharper patient, not a prescription. Talk to your doctor before changing anything. Now, let's count down. Let's start with the most fundamental one, because it hides in plain sight. Processed deli meats. Sliced turkey, ham, salami, bologna, hot dogs. The sandwich that feels like a light lunch. The problem isn't really the meat, it's 2 things stacked on top of it. First, sodium, a lot of it. A few slices of deli turkey can carry several hundred milligrams of salt before you've added a single thing. Second, the preservatives that keep that meat pink and shelf-stable for weeks. Why does that matter more after 50? Because of those stiffer arteries I mentioned. Excess sodium pulls water into your bloodstream, the volume goes up, and the pressure against those less flexible walls climbs. Do that day after day, and a borderline reading slowly stops being borderline. The major heart organizations are blunt about this. They recommend most adults stay under 2,300 milligrams of sodium a day, and for many of us over 50, closer to 1,500 is better. One deli sandwich and a handful of chips can blow through that before dinner. I think of the kind of patient I see constantly. Someone eating what they swear is a healthy turkey sandwich every single day for lunch, completely unaware they're getting a salt load that's quietly working against every other good thing they do. Here's the part most people miss. You don't have to give up sandwiches. You have to give up the processed version. Roast a real chicken breast on Sunday, slice it yourself, and you've removed almost the entire problem. But sodium isn't the only quiet killer in your kitchen, because the next one comes in a can that looks completely innocent, and most people consider it comfort food. Number 6, canned soups and frozen dinners. The easy night food. And after 50, when cooking for 1 or 2 can feel like more trouble than it's worth, these become a daily habit for a lot of people. Soup sounds healthy, warm, simple, vegetables in there somewhere, but a single can of soup can carry 800, 900, sometimes over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, and most people eat the whole can, not the half a can the label quietly assumes is a serving. Frozen dinners are the same story with extra company. Salt to make it taste like something after freezing, plus refined starches, plus oils that have been heated and reheated. Here's a habit I want to give you, and it costs you 15 seconds in the store. Flip the package over, look at 2 lines, sodium per serving, and servings per container. If the sodium is over 600 a serving, and the container is secretly 2 servings, put it back. That one 15-second habit will do more for your pressure than almost any supplement you could buy. I'm not asking you to never reach for convenience. I'm asking you to choose the low-sodium version, or to make a big pot of real soup on the weekend and freeze it in portions yourself. Same convenience, none of the damage. Now, if you're still with me, this next stretch is where most people quietly tune out, and it's the worst possible place to do that. Because number 5 is the one people defend the hardest. And number 4 is the one I see do the most silent damage of all. Number 5, sugary drinks. Soda, sweet tea, those big bottled juices, the flavored coffee drinks that are really dessert wearing a coffee costume. People expect me to attack the obvious offenders, but here's what makes sugary drinks especially dangerous after 50. It's how fast that sugar hits. There's nothing to slow it down. No fiber, no fat, no protein. It floods in, your blood sugar spikes, and over years that pattern is tied to higher triglycerides, higher pressure, and more fat packed around the middle, the kind that sits around your organs. And the leading heart guidance here is striking. The recommended ceiling for added sugar is modest, roughly 6 teaspoons a day for women, about 9 for men. One regular soda can blow past that in a single can. I know how this sounds because I've said it to my own family. It's just one with lunch. But one a day, every day for years. That's the dose. The body doesn't care that it felt small. Here's the good news, and it's genuinely good. This is the single easiest swap on the entire list. Sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon, unsweetened iced tea, water with a few frozen berries dropped in. Your taste buds adjust faster than you'd believe, usually inside 2 weeks. Of everything we'll talk about today, this is the change that pays off the fastest. And that brings me to number 4. And this is the one I beg my patients not to skip. If you remember only one food from this entire video, it might be this one. If you've made it this far, this next part is the most important stretch of the video, and it's exactly where most people drop off. So stay with me for the next 4 minutes, because number 4 is the one that does its damage almost invisibly. Number 4, deep fried foods. Especially restaurant fried food, fast food, anything from a fryer that's been running all day. It's not just the calories. When oil is heated to high temperatures over and over, which is exactly what happens in a busy fryer, it changes chemically. It oxidizes. And those changed fats are linked again and again in large studies to inflammation in the blood vessels and to a higher risk of heart trouble. Inflammation is the part you can't feel. There's no symptom. It just quietly does its work on the inside of your arteries while everything feels fine. And here's why 50 matters so much. Those arteries are already less forgiving. Inflammation on top of stiffness is a hard combination. I want to be careful and honest here. An occasional fried treat is not going to undo a good life. I'm not the food police, and fear isn't the goal. What harms people is the pattern. Fried food 2, 3, 4 times a week, year after year, because it's fast and it's there. So here's what I tell people. Air fryers genuinely help. They give you the crunch without the bath of reused oil. And when you do go out, treat fried food the way you'd treat dessert, something you choose on purpose, occasionally, not your default. That's the heavy lifting done. Now we're into the last 3, and these are the ones almost nobody expects. Number 3 is probably in your kitchen right now disguised as a snack. Number 3, packaged pastries, cookies, and store-bought baked goods. Muffins, snack cakes, the cookies that stay soft in the package for a month. Stop and think about what's actually in those, because it's a triple hit. Refined white flour, which behaves in your body a lot like sugar. A heavy dose of added sugar on top. And the fats and oils used to give them that long, soft shelf life. 3 of the things we've already talked about combined into one little package and engineered to taste good enough that you don't stop at 1. The month on the shelf part is the tell. Real food made from real ingredients goes stale in days. When something stays soft and sweet for weeks, that's chemistry doing the work. And it's the same chemistry your arteries would rather you skip. I'm not going to pretend a homemade slice of cake at a birthday is the enemy. It isn't. The danger is the daily one. The muffin with coffee every morning. The snack cake every afternoon. That's not a treat anymore. That's a routine. The fix is simple. If you want something sweet, choose the real, fresh thing occasionally over the shelf-stable thing daily. A piece of fruit, a square of dark chocolate, something your great-grandmother would actually recognize as food. Now, number 2 genuinely surprises people because for years they were told the exact opposite. Number 2, alcohol. And I know, for years the message was that a glass of red wine was good for your heart. Here's the honest update because the science has shifted and most people haven't heard it. The newer, larger reviews have steadily walked back the idea that moderate drinking protects your heart. The protective effect looks much smaller or absent once researchers account for other factors. And the leading health bodies now lean toward less is better, with no amount established as actively good for you. After 50, this matters even more. Alcohol can nudge your blood pressure up. It interferes with sleep, which your heart depends on for repair. And it can interact with the very medications many people are taking for their heart and pressure. I'm not here to tell you to never enjoy a drink at your daughter's wedding. I'm telling you the old, "it's good for me" story doesn't hold up. So don't drink for your heart. If you choose to drink, keep it genuinely occasional, and, this is the one that matters, talk to your doctor about how it mixes with your medications. That conversation is more important than the drink, and that leaves number 1. The food most people eat first thing in the morning, the one sitting in your kitchen with a label that practically promises to be good for you. Number 1, the most surprising one, and I saved it for last on purpose because if I'd led with it, you might not have believed me. It's the healthy breakfast. Specifically, flavored yogurts, most boxed granola, and the cereal stamped with words like heart smart, whole grain, and natural. Here's the trap, and it's almost clever. These foods aren't junk food, so your guard is down. But flavored yogurt can hide as much sugar as a dessert. Healthy granola is often oats glued together with sugar and oil. And a bowl of whole grain cereal can deliver a sugar load before you've even had your coffee. This is the one that breaks my heart a little because the people eating it are trying. They chose it over the donut. They thought they did the right thing. And every morning for years, they've been starting the day with a sugar spike, quietly working against the pressure and the cholesterol they're so worried about. Let me show you exactly how to beat it on screen. 2 yogurts, side by side. Flip them over. Look at one line, added sugars. One has a spoonful or 2 hidden inside. The other, plain yogurt with your own fresh berries and a few real nuts, has almost none, and you control every bit of the sweetness. That single swap, plain yogurt and real fruit instead of the flavored cup, is one of the most quietly powerful changes you can make. And nobody told you because the front of the package was busy telling you it was healthy. So here's exactly what I want you to do this week. Not all 7 at once. That's how people fail. Just this. First, this week, fix breakfast. Trade the flavored yogurt or sugary cereal for plain yogurt with real fruit or eggs or oatmeal you sweeten yourself. Start where the surprise was. Second, the 15-second habit. Before anything packaged goes in your cart, flip it over and check 2 lines, sodium per serving and servings per container. If the numbers are ugly, put it back. Third, pick your one easy win, the sugary drink. Swap one a day for sparkling water with lemon. Your taste buds reset in about 2 weeks. And fourth, please do this. Bring this list to your next appointment. Tell your doctor, I'm cleaning up my diet, here's where I'm starting. Ask how it fits with your medications and your numbers. You're allowed to be that engaged. The patients who get the best results are usually the ones who ask the most questions. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Small, repeatable changes beat a heroic week of eating clean, followed by giving up. Your heart has been quietly working for you every second of the last 50, 60, 70 years without ever asking for a day off. It's not too late to take a few things off its plate, sometimes literally. If this helps you see your kitchen a little differently, you'll want next week's, because we're flipping it around. The everyday foods that actively help your heart repair itself after 50, and one of them is probably already in your fridge, hiding behind the foods we talked about today. Be honest with yourself, be patient with yourself, and start with breakfast tomorrow. Take care of that heart of yours. It's been good to you.